All right, let's talk about 5-6, which is to engineer and revise an electromagnetic device that converts one form of energy to another. An example would include a speaker, a generator, a motor, a guitar pickup, anything like that. We're going to do some demonstrations and fill in some information in this box, but right now let's talk about inducing electric current. So first, a little bit of a review. We already have seen this picture. We know that an electric current, shown by these purple arrows right here inside of a wire, will create a magnetic field shown by these red arrows right here. This is how electromagnets work. Okay, so let's write that down. We already know that moving electrons, which is another way of saying an electric current, creates a magnetic field. Now here's the big trick. The opposite is also true. And so let's think about what is the opposite of that. So moving electrons creates a magnetic field. That would mean that moving, or in this case, changing, magnetic fields can move electrons. Or, in other words, create an electric current. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. Make sure you understand. Moving electrons create a magnetic field. The opposite is also true. Moving magnetic fields, or changing magnetic fields, create, or changing magnetic fields can move electrons. Okay. Now here's an example of that. Here I have a magnet, and it is going to fall. You can see the swooshy lines up here at the top. It is going to fall through this coil of wire. When it falls, now the coil of wire does not start with a current, okay? But when the magnet falls through this coil of wire, a current is created inside of the wire, okay? So it's very important that we realize that, in fact, these two things, a current creating a magnetic field and a magnetic field creating a current, that these two things are opposites. Okay. So once we realize that, we need to take that one step further, and we need to make another big realization. We need to realize that that for this reason, an electric motor and an electric generator are essentially the same machine, just used in opposite ways. And in fact, any motor could be used as a generator, and any generator could be used as a motor. Obviously, we can optimize them to work better for one job or the other, but it is really the same device. Let's use an example. So here I have an electric motor. Say it's in an electric car. And so the input for this electric motor is electric current from a battery. And the output is that it spins a magnet which turns the wheel. Input is current, output is a spinning magnet from a magnetic field. This device, which is like a wind generator, is the exact opposite. Okay? So we have an input of spinning a drive shaft, which is connected to a magnet inside of the generator. And that spinning magnet The changing magnetic field creates an output of an electric current. But these two devices that you see here, these two little gray circles, the motor and the generator, are literally the same thing. They're just a magnet on some sort of shaft that allows them to spin, and they're inside of a coil of wire. And that coil of wire, remember, is called a solenoid. So if you have a magnet inside of a solenoid, you can make either a motor or a generator. It just depends on what your input and your output are.